I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Heroes Wanted. We are rejoining the party after they have received their punishment for daring to trespass in the realm of the uh, Shadow Hobgoblin Warlord. And now that they have received their punishment and um, been granted their temporary pass to, be here, and they've seen the market, and they've, been granted an audience with the Lord, and so now you guys can um, march through to the Hobgoblin Warlord and uh, have a little chit chat, little negotiation session where you attempt to uh, do everything. However, um, you guys were interested in procuring a certain item, which the last time you even brought it up resulted in you being punished. Definitely something to consider when you discuss things with the hobgoblin. Not, that you just start off saying, "Hey, I want the thing that is going to piss you off the most if I want it."
Yeah.
So the hobgoblin's throne room is actually uh, equal parts impressive and simplistic. It's impressive in its sheer uh, you know size and formidable structure. Everything here is built solid, but it's very simple, not only in the materials made to build it, but in its
Like primitive
design.
looking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is not the hall of the dwarf lords where the architecture is um fanciful. And fanciful sounds more elven. uh Aesthetically pleasing, very um geometrically, you know, designed with a uh
So it's not
knowledge of.
symmetrical.
Right.
It's
This is.
like
Go ahead.
It's like I'm assuming you're getting at like it's impressive for what it is,
Yes,
kind
yes,
of appearance. Like,
yes, exactly. Like you would think that this was a shithole kind of a building based on the material and the architecture, but then the sheer size of it and the thickness of the iron plates on the walls and everything just reminds you that you're in one of the most formidable fortresses on any of the planes.
all right, well, I guess I will bow before this goblin hobgoblin king, um, and I will say thank you for your time. Thank you for seeing us. Um, you are uh, kind and gracious. My name is Nova Solarflare. This is Cress. This is Soggy, and this is Vicenthus.
Soggy is caving.
And he says, I am Urzog, the Destroyer. What brings you to my kingdom?
We are travelers from a faraway land, searching for mystique and adventure. Um, we have come in search for and seeking trade of magical items, and was wondering if you had any in your possession that you would be willing to trade.
Why do you come before me? The merchants are, out front.
We know nothing of your culture or your people, and we have not requested previous consent to visit your land. We believe that this would be the most polite.
You may go trade with the merchants. Be gone.
Uh, so, all right, friends, out of character. Okay. Any ideas? I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Because I doubt that their primitive merchants would have anything of what we're looking for.
Well, considering what you're looking
Well,
for is one specific item that he has.
yeah, also, like, to point out, they already know what we're here for. If we run
Well,
around here.
I guess I could say it then. What we look for are items, magic items that are not very common. No, nothing mundane that an average merchant would sell. Which is part of the reason why we have come to you. What we search for is quite rare.
It is shiny.
A rarity in which only a someone of royal nobility such as yourself would have in their possession.
I am no noble. I am a conqueror.
Well, you are a king, are you not?
By might.
Well then, sir, it seems as if through might you have granted yourself nobility.
Yeah, but nobles are a bunch of stuffy suited, blouse wearing uh,
You are
wimps.
different than Blouswearer.
Yes. I wear the blood of my enemies.
It is certainly interesting style.
In any which case, I mean the term noble for your as in your status, not to be compared to a lesser noble of less glory and prowess.
Yeah, conquering is a warrior's ultimate achievement.
All right. So just again, out of character, asking the question here. Okay, let's say that we convince him that we are here to trade with him, and then he shows us the thingy. What if we get to that point? What do we do? Because we all know we're not actually here to trade.
Oh,
What?
uh, uh, Crest can already sense that the shard is on Urzug.
Well, I mean, how do we get? I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
So what do we do
Also,
now? Like, do we just like
what?
attack the guy?
When did we establish we weren't going to trade?
Oh, um, because what exactly do we have of equivalent value?
I
Except other
don't.
parts of the same thing.
I don't know, but we have to know how valuable he thinks it is before we can even make that assessment.
That is true.
So, trading was like never off the table per se. I mean, we're just probably going to end up attacking him.
Soggy
Okay.
sort of thinks for a moment and says, if you were to trade special thing, what would you want in return?
Fake statement, Mov.
Uh, Depends on what you're asking for.
Oh, um, well, first we started. I saw Nova started with the how Nova like went at this was that we're not here for any one thing in particular. We are searching for magic items, and we are traveling in pursuit of magic items, rare and powerful ones that only a king may have. So we're kind of just trying to start a dialogue in which we can see what he may have. Because
You do know you're not at like artifacts are us.
yeah, granted, but we're also showing up saying that we're looking for magic items or we're trading in magic items, the kind that are rare and powerful.
Okay.
So it's not like we're
So how about you tell me what you have to offer, because I'm not going to just be like, and here's my vault where I keep all my powerful artifacts. Which ones would you like to know about? This one does this and this one does that. Like that's I'm a powerful warlord who has conquered like dimensions. You guys are some traveling peasants as far as I'm concerned, here to like rob me as far as I know.
all right.
Question:
That's a good
does
point.
Soggy see the shard?
Mm, I mean, maybe.
Should I roll a
Question:
perception roll?
Sure.
does Cress have any points in deception?
Uh, I don't know. He's coming.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, what?
Does Cress have any points in deception? Does she have? Is she proficient in deception? I mean,
Proficient in deception. Well, I guess I can check. So, no.
okay. See, neither do I. But just had a thought. What if we fed him a line of BS that we're searching for a magical shard that is cursed and brings about like untold doom whoever is in possession of it.
Sog- Soggy's good with deception.
I would like to point out that on technicality, given our track record of experience with the item, that isn't wrong.
That is true.
Because every person who had a shard met me.
um, that is true. So far, every person who's not us who's had the shard is dead. um,
Nuh-uh. There's a
and I
couple of
said this
people.
isn't dead.
There's a
Well,
couple of
Visentis is
people
kind of
that
dead.
also the hobgoblin and the other guardian, and yeah. So
Yeah, no. It's more like only like three other shard guardians died, but it was more of a funny machismo joke than a real statement.
yeah.
Soggy has good deception.
So I guess what I'll do is
Uh, did you hear
I'll
me,
whisper.
guys?
So, yes, I heard. Now it's like it's a matter of getting that to be an idea that Soggy had, so that it just comes out of his mouth instead of like Nova feeding that line to you.
Okay, so Soggy, sort of thinking about what to say exactly, is going to say this line. We are looking for special shard. Shard that is very, very shiny, but very, very bad if people hold on, if someone holds on to it for
No,
too long.
what he's saying is, why would Soggy have had that idea?
Well, if Soggy knows anything, is that this thing is linked with a lot of bad juju.
What I mean here is, though Soggy has skills in deception, he has not used it. At least not often enough where if unless I mean Nova wouldn't lie. She's not gonna tell a dishonest. She's not gonna say something knowing that it's just dishonest. Um, so I think it's a good idea, and then it's my idea. But what would be the motivate? Where would Soggy get this idea from? Because
He's also got very low intelligence, so thinking up a lie is different from being good at telling one.
Okay, so Soggy, not really good at thinking up lies, just saying them, saying, Soggy and friends are looking for object that is very cursed and should not be held by anyone or else bad things. And he's going to do that. Say
Yeah, but
that.
what gave you the idea that it's cursed?
Soggy just sort of had some experience with cursed items, of course, seeing some cursed items in action.
Yeah, but like literally one of your party members has multiple copies of this and isn't cursed.
Okay, so Soggy says, well,
I have an idea. So why don't Soggy, if it's okay with you, DM, and up to you, of course, Hazard, if you roll for insight, because if you roll insight and maybe on the Hobgoblin King, that I mean, if you could tell that he's like a kind of an sort of an idiotic, maybe superstitious type. Like if Soggy can kind of pick up on that himself, and he'd be like, "Oh, this guy's kind of an idiot," and he
He's
doesn't.
a world conquering warlord who has fortresses that span into the prime material plane and the Shadowfell.
Still a Hobgoblin. No, I see your
Not
point.
your typical hobgoblin.
You're right. You're right.
I figured I'd point that out before you guys spend too much time going down that road.
If there's anything about him that may come off as superstitious, something that would make him
Possibly.
cautious of magic items of any kind,
I don't know
like
about
it's
that.
that we show up and it's like, oh, be careful with this magic shard. You know, we're searching for this magic shard that turns people into chickens.
The one
You
he's
know,
been the one he's been wearing and using to make himself powerful?
well, convincing him might not be easy, but it's like we have heard of a magical shard that has landed here that, after using 150 times, turns the user into a waterfowl.
Mhm.
Yeah, he might go like, I don't want to be a duck.
Ah, a goose. Nature's deadliest animal.
Does an 11 do anything?
No. Your insight for him would be that he is a powerful warrior who doesn't take any crap from anyone.
Soggy sort of thinks for a moment and says, well, we are looking for special shard, and this shard is very, very, very special because it is focused around peace. Yes, and it would be useless to you because you are focused on war. Yes, that is good thing to say.
What item is this?
Uh, Soggy sort of looks around to see if he can find anything to draw on, and then sketches up a sort of like a diamond of sorts, like a very child scribbly diamond that sort of looks like the thing that's around his neck.
Well, it doesn't look like a diamond, and if you're trying to tell him that the thing around his neck is useless to him, he knows that you're wrong because, he uses it.
Oh man, so I thought you were coming to talk about my favorite item, huh? But isn't it like a hunk of metal or something?
Yeah, it's a piece of metal. But either way, if you draw what's around his neck, he's gonna know that you're wrong because he uses that. So it's not useless to him because he uses it.
Well, in that case, Soggy's just gonna draw this sort of kite-shaped object, so it doesn't look like this thing.
Okay, you can do that, but now he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Soggy sort of looking to the others, saying, thinking that he'd done good, and just hopes that he did do good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for this to escalate to punch up. Uh, so how many bad guys with stabbing tools are near our present location?
All of them.
Well, I mean, right here in the throne room, maybe a 20, plus the warlord, you know, give or take. But
Aha.
you'll never make it out of the castle alive. There's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of, guys here in the castle. They will fill the hallways 100 deep.
I see. That is interesting. Hum. Well, I think it's time for bold action, because I don't think we're going to finesse this, and we can't just kill him.
Soggy just feels sort of like confused if he did do good.
You did fine, Soggy. Vasanthus says that.
I don't actually look.
Hmm.
I see.
Then why isn't he giving Sting to us
Well,
yet?
Well, great king. Um, do you happen to be in possession of this magical shard that we look for? It appears as if though it is made out of metal, like it was part of something, and that it was part of something else but broken. Individually, it would have great power.
When he senses that you are coming after his shard, he becomes very angry and says, "Thieves!"
But Soggy
Wait,
sort of waves his
wait,
hands in the air and says, "Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it! Why can't we just trade it?"
I would. You have nothing valuable enough to trade for this, so the only thing you could be seeking to do is steal from me.
What if we could find
DM,
it?
DM, what's his name? What did he say his name was?
Urzug, the Destroyer.
Okay. Wait a moment. You cannot possibly be Urzog the Destroyer. I have heard of Urzog the Destroyer. He goes going from plane to plane and conquering all that he sees. Urzog would never need such a crutch.
Every warrior needs a sword.
Well, if Soggy is honest, it is not sword, but very, very big pillar.
Ah, you're right. I guess here you can have it.
Soggy just stares.
what the fuck? What the fuck? I- Excuse
But
me.
Soggy sort of like raises his hand a bit and says, "What if we could find you something better than shard?"
What could you possibly find?
Well, Soggy was hoping you would know.
Yes. What would you want?
The six demon bag.
Does he actually say that?
Well, no, that's from Big
Like a
Trouble
Gucci
in
bag?
That's from Big Trouble in Little China. It's a great little scene, but uh he does say that the only thing that he would want is a legendary item that he has been unable to obtain, um that would basically uh make him immortal.
And that would be.
I want the Phoenix sword.
Soggy sort of raises his eyebrow and says, "What is Phoenix Sword?"
It's a sword from Arizona. No, it's a
No,
it's a
there's-
it's a sword made out of a phoenix feather that resurrects the owner anytime they it basically turns you into like a human phoenix.
That is certainly impressive. And Soggy sort of knows a bit about a phoenix, because I imagine kobolds have at least told tales about phoenixes.
hmm
And Soggy says, "Where do we find sword?"
I don't know. If I knew, I'd send my armies to go get it for me, and then I wouldn't need you guys.
I'm gonna kind of lean over and give a psst to Pasanthus. Go like, you got any skinny on that?
The last I heard, the sword of the Phoenix was being held by the Fire Giant King.
So another really strong centralized physical threat that has legions and armies and stuff.
Yes, although that king has not been heard from in 2 centuries, so who knows what is going on in his kingdom.
Soggy sort of turns to the muttering two and says, "Do you know where sword is?"
No.
I do not have an exact location, but I know where to begin asking.
Oh, really? And Soggy, after hearing that, turns to the king and says, "We will bring you Phoenix Sword, then. Because we have knowledge of where it might be."
Excellent! Come back without it, and I'll have you killed.
Soggy sort of nervously nods.
But finally, Crest is gonna actually speak and be like, and with a pointed finger go, but should we return with the item you request, you will trade it for what we have asked. Do you
Oh
swear
yeah.
by that?
Oh yeah, I won't need this if you guys bring me the sword that makes me immortal.
This is acceptable.
Yes, that does
Immortal.
sound better than simple shard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
immortality's
I'm going to note, when Crest just hears the term immortal, they just kind of laugh and they look to Vasanthus and go like, how long that will last, and
yes, immortal
get
is
ready to turn
not
around.
immortal is not indestructible.
Anyway,
Quick, what was it? I completely forgot. Never mind.
What?
It'll come back to me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Can I roll for insight?
For what?
I was like, see, on one hand, I don't want to like reveal it because I think it's kind of funny. But okay, do I think that this guy's being honest?
About trading you guys if he gets
Yeah,
the sword that makes him immortal? I mean, you can roll,
yeah.
but it's so like low that like you can tell that like yeah, he wants to be immortal.
Okay. So I guess we leave now.
Well, I mean, if that's the plan, then if you guys are good with you know going forth and taking on this guy's quest to um you know be his little errand boys and girls.
All right. The only thing
Soggy
is like
also
one.
raises a hand and says, "Also, do you have body?"
I'm in one.
No, 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 no. Like empty one. Like something I could have.
What?
I just go like, oh, our friend there is, well, he'd like to be physical again. Don't mind him. He
Soggy
asked
sort of
everyone.
like shows the reason why he wants a body and just sort of passes through through a box, just sort of trying to frustratingly pick up a random object nearby. And
Um, so as we walk, I guess I don't know. All right, is that what we're doing? We're walking out now.
Well, hold on. Soggy, as you show that you're, a spirit, uh, the shaman steps forward to banish you, but the warlord says, "No, it is okay. This one is of no threat to us." And
ugh,
he holds up his shard and shows that he can put up a shield that keeps him out.
okay, okay. Whoa, that is impressive.
Okay, so what are we gonna do? Because it's like it's gonna be damn near impossible to find a phoenix sword. Then, if we do find one, like, are we really about to make this like temporal, like interplanar conqueror, like the sword of immortality? And three, he's clearly gonna betray us. Like he's gonna betray us. Like he's just
Well,
gonna be like,
what?
"Thanks for the immortality sword. I think I'm gonna keep both. And
Yeah.
since I'm
Okay.
immortal, I don't think you're gonna do shit about it."
Okay. So, A, yes. B, if the sword is so dangerous in his hands, I'll come back with the full Reaper Scythe and reap his soul. Absolute ability contests. And 3, we're going to exchange item to item, and if he reneges, I'll be like, oh hey, I'm going to use this sword of immortality I'm holding to kill you while being immortal.
That is indeed a good counter argument.
Oh, do you think a scythe of death, is gonna cut through somebody who's immortal? Like, isn't that like the whole shtick of immortality? Is that you're unaffected by death?
There's a difference between not dying when cut down by spell or magic and having your existence ended by a manifestation of entropy itself.
All right, well, I guess that's up to the DM to decide. But even so, what are we gonna do? Because there's no way in hell Nova's gonna be like, yeah, sure, here, conqueror, here's this sword, and I'll make you undefeatable.
And also, it won't make him
Immortal does
undefeatable.
not mean undefeatable.
I was going to say, it will not make him undefeatable. It'll make him alone more powerful. But the root of his power is not that he himself is strong, it's that he controls armies and legions. And the Phoenix Sword is more or less just a nice cherry on top of this mile-wide cake. To be honest, he wins or dies on the merits of his strategic design. The sword does nothing for that.
Penguins will sell themselves for rocks.
And so Slug, after hearing that sort of thing, says, "So he wants different cherry, yes?"
That's a way to look at it. It also, in my mind, makes it easier for him to give up the old shard, since he, being as bright as he is, should realize ultimately how these two items are not very important to that core of his power that I mentioned. The sword is more of just a nice insurance policy for him specifically. It does nothing for his rule.
Well, when you rule in a world where people can challenge you for it, and if they kill you, they win. Being immortal is a real nice like insurance policy.
Oh, allow me to expand. It extends his actual rule in of itself, but does not change how he acts upon the throne.
Right.
No, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna act. I'm great. I'm immortal now, but I'm still me. It's just gonna change nothing. Like you cannot die. Like you
Yes,
just do
that's
whatever you
exactly
want.
what I'm saying forward. Aside from the
No
fact that
way.
the long-term plans will change simply because they don't have to revolve around you dying of old age or some shit like that. Vasanthus, back me up here. Aside from the not dying of old age part, don't you think that ruleship is more or less the same for immortals as it is for knots?
It becomes more of a long-term strategy than before, but otherwise the basics remain the same. Fear and love are the two main factors to maintaining the uh, respect and loyalty of the population, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, see what he said. Ruleship is not fundamentally altered by the process of immortality. Too much, anyway.
Other than you need to make a 50-year plan instead of simply a 15.
Sometimes I wish I was playing like a dirtbag kind of a character, because Nova's a good noodle, and if she agrees with this, she's gonna go through with it. However, if I was playing any other character, I have an idea. Let's go get the sword and then kill him with it.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to kill him, you don't need the sword to do it.
Well, we need some sort of fucking
But then we'll
ace in
have
the
the
hole, 'cause
sword
we're not
and the
gonna-
thing.
We're not gonna flatten like his entire army and infrastructure all at once with no assistance.
Fair.
I mean,
have you set it
unless
to
we
Wumbo?
stuck ourselves in here and played a political game where we, like attempted
the long
to
haul.
embolden one of his political, oppositions to get them on.
Oh well, there you go.
The shard.
You just have
Like,
you just have Vasanthus turn everybody in the castle into a vampire.
Ugh.
holy shit!
Rival vampires are so hard to control.
Turn them into thralls, then.
And I suppose that is somewhat better.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take
Anyway.
him it'll take us like a month to pull off, as Vasanthus slowly turns each one of them into a vampire. Just like, it's like, all right, cool. Well, now you have now you have interdimensional fucking army of these guys,
Yeah, I don't really like that plan.
hobgoblins.
On the whole, I think that interdimensional conqueror hobgoblin vampires are a little worse than one immortal king.
Also, controlling so many of them, it takes more effort than you realize. I would not love this.
It would
You didn't
probably
exactly
be
have problems with it before.
it'd be easier and more straightforward just to control one of his important political rivals rather than like a big horde of common hobgoblins.
Yes, and actually, although I do not mind controlling some vampires, you'll note I am very strategic. I controlled Soggy, while Soggy controlled the rest of the kobolds I had him turn into vampire spawn.
Soggy didn't. That was not Soggy. That was Thirst.
Either way, it was awesome.
Soggy is
You had done
clearly
it was
trying
cruel.
to differentiate him from his vampire self.
What you had done was cruel.
You are mispronouncing cool.
All of that, pain you caused, and you know what's funny? We're having this conversation right in front of the Hobgoblin King.
I've been assuming we've been walking and talking, considering we've been discussing our strategic goal
Yeah.
to subvert him.
Like this dude sitting on his throne, like, turn my what into vampires? What now?
Yeah, no, that conversation isn't happening in his throne room.
Agreed.
You little nut.
All right.
All the
So
while,
what are we
Soggy
doing?
is
I guess
asking the merchants if any of them have a body he can use.
Don't do that.
So Nova's gonna say, um, I can prepare us a spell that I can cast for us a ritual that may summon an celestial. They may be able to lead us in the right direction.
Eh.
But of course, I'll have to wait until morning to prepare it.
And Soggy, seeing that he'll be waiting for that, says, "Then how about we find body for Soggy then?"
Body for Soggy. I would love to give you one. I don't think it's possible though, Soggy.
Well,
What? You,
so Soggy is able to find a seller of bodies. They are selling uh elves for meat. So
and they
there's like elf bodies like hanging up like chickens at a store.
and Soggy sort of sees this and sort of grimaces a bit, but sort of like looks to the butcher and says, "You selling any of those bodies?"
Oh, what do you think I'm gonna eat them all?
Well, Soggy could use body.
15 gold.
Soggy sort of like swoops over to the group and says, uh, "Soggy needs 15 gold."
Class is just like, that, sure, venture that.
So, getting the body over, to a private area, Soggy attempts to possess it, and although you can animate the body, uh, you're basically a zombie.
Well, it will allow me to get out of the realm if that's true, isn't it?
I don't know.
Soggy says, sort of walking around in a zombified body, sort of grumbles and groans and says, "Soggy found body."
Soggy, what you are doing is wrong.
Of course it's fucking wrong. What did you expect this to be like? Anyway, I'll have to figure out how to quicken that. It's not going to be very useful shambling like that.
But Soggy wants body. Is that bad?
To some people it always will be. Don't let their examination get in the way of what you really want.
Everything about what you are doing now is horrifying.
I didn't expect Vasantas to have an easy to upset stomach. Question:
What
What
you are
was
doing
it?
is
He human or elf?
Elf.
I knew it.
this is
It,
necromancy, and it is evil.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. And I'm pretty evil myself.
then
Well,
where will Soggy find body if this is bad?
nowhere, Soggy. You have to You have to accept that you'll do a little bad to do a little good. Besides, isn't having one of your own more important?
Yes, but if honest, it has this body very tall.
Do you really think Nova here is going to punish you?
Maybe.
I would take that bet. Come on, Nova. Why don't you walk over there and destroy Soggy where he stands if it bothers you so much? I'd love to see it.
I will do so.
Hold on, no. That's boring as hell.
This is not.
You're right, you are.
This is. This is not funny. And Nova will kind of walk away.
Soggy
See?
is
Told
sort
you.
of upset at this, and sort of just unpossesses the body and sort of floats over to Nova and says, Soggy is sorry. Soggy wasn't having.
Oh, such a waste of a body. If only I had gotten to it while it still had its blood.
It's funny where creatures draw their
Soggy
own
is
knives.
just at this point trying to apologize to Nova after upsetting her so much.
Ugh, you guys and your feelings. If the angel is so upset, let her go cry in the corner. We must make plans for the fire giants if that is truly our destination.
I'm gonna
Well, I do.
I'm gonna go back to where the body is. I'm gonna pick the body up, and then I'm gonna I put it down somewhere. And I'll start to dig it. Start digging.
Ugh, yes, please get that rotten thing out of my sight.
So much care for a cadaver. You know that's a thing, right?
It used to be a person.
It used to
Used to
be
be
an
doesn't
elf.
mean anything.
I said person.
Ugh. Elves
Ah.
are the enemy of people.
If this was your body, would you have it be so used in such a demeaning manner to be laid out in the open, just rotting?
If that was my body, then my mission would be accomplished and I would have no more care.
Yes, but
and
he
if it
was not you.
and if it was my body, it wouldn't matter at all. I'd be dead.
Either
And
way,
sure,
I'll bury the body or do whatever, put rocks on it, maybe a combination of both if it's available, and then I'll pray over it. And yeah, I'm into that.
Okay. So that takes you a minute, and
Yeah, that's gonna take me a minute.
as that takes you a minute, um, the uh, the Shadowfell gets darker. It is becoming night.
I guess if we're in a safe enough place, I guess we'll set up. I guess I'll set up camp.
Well, I mean, define safe in the Shadowfell, but
Well, you know what I mean. Safe enough.
yeah, I mean, there's no reason to think this place is any less safe than anywhere else.
Okay.
Soggy at this, sort of like is making very like puppy eyes to Nova's to see if she's forgiven him or not.
I'll uh, I'll say to Sagi, it's okay. It is all right. I forgive you. Just remember, eh, what you did there was 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 borderline on border was very close to being evil. Now I understand it's you want a body very badly, but remember, thirst wanted blood very badly as well, and everyone has their temptations, and there is the easy way to get them, and there is the long way to get them. If you go the easy path, you may be going down the path of darkness, one of which you will never return from.
Also,
I love you,
wasn't very
Sagi.
cool. The body.
I
Well,
love you, Sagi. And I promise, I've, what this has told me also is that I have not done enough to return you to the world of the living. I still bear my promise that every day I think of a way to return you to how you were before you became a vampire. But you must be patient.
in other words, Soggy must be having.
Yes.
Then Soggy will have. Hopefully, Soggy will be able
Now
to
there is
enter this other world with you and not be stuck in shuttle plane.
me too.
I could take it or leave it.
Well, if no one else, this will set up camp.
Yeah,
Take it down for the evening.
yeah. So you guys, are resting for the evening, and
I
go
I'd
ahead.
like to know. I'm going to spend some of the night in casual flight.
Okay.
And Soggy will join in the casual flight because he can float.
Well, that doesn't give you
That
flight.
yeah, that doesn't track. You know, if Cress is having a leisurely glide, some 80 feet up, like Soggy can't join at all.
Correct.
Okay,
Floating and flighting are two different things.
Soggy sort of like goes ahead and goes to his own corner and tries to see if he can communicate with his patron.
Okay. So, um, you reach out to the bunyip, but there's no, response.
Soggy just sort of figures that it is tied to the fact that he is in the dark realm,
Possibly.
and and instead decides to go ahead and just sort of etch some sort of like carvings on nearby wood or stone.
Oh, there's wood, just mostly dead wood, but yeah.
Yes, so he sort of starts carving into dead wood of like sort of things relating to the Bunyat and his culture.
Mm-hmm. And Cress, you're going for a flight. Um, is there anything you're doing, or?
Nope, it's just putting some distance. Cress was bothered by interactions today, so they're not sleeping on the ground, right? Well, they're not resting on the ground.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So, Cress, while you're out on pseudo patrol, uh, go ahead and roll perception.
Here we go.
And so, you can spot patrols of these orcs and hobgoblins and trolls and everything. You're still very close to the fortress, and the patrols are out and about, but they're more than just like war band patrols. Like these are active raids where when they find a camp of anything other than their men, they just take them for, I mean, you've seen part of the purposes they use them for, and who knows what else. So they just start rounding them up and loading them into huge wagons.
I see.
You can hear the screams of the people as the warriors, descend upon them and just take them.
Guess that's a fine enough thing to watch.
Yep. And so that's how they maintain their supremacy is, basically anything that isn't them is food or like slaves or whatever they want them for.
Makes sense.
So like no other close by nation even has a chance to like build up a population to challenge them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you see that, and uh, then the quote unquote morning eventually comes. Like I've explained how this works here in the Shadowfell, where like there is day and night cycles, but it's just all muted to where don't expect actual sun. It's just lighter than when it's like almost pitch dark at night. So the sun starts coming up.
Woo!
And you guys have all gotten a long rest now, obviously. And Cress, I assume you go back to the party.
I'm not gonna run away.
Right. So after
Imagine.
getting a rest, Visanthus sees you approach, and he's like, "Well, I hope you enjoyed your little night out."
It was. At least it was not boring.
Watching your friend sleep was.
That's an interesting sentiment, but whatever. She's not my friend anyway.
No, if only we didn't need her.
Soggy sort of like floats over and says, "Look at what Soggy has carved."
It's going to be a blink and a simple. It's very nice, Soggy. Very nice. Ugh.
Being Visanthus, I have very little I can, say or do about this.
Yeah. Alright, so. You know an approximate location, yes?
I know where to begin to look where the fire giant kingdom is, but this requires going back to the prime material plane.
Oh, that's such a pain in the arse. Ah. There is no way we can't do the shard thing out of order?
Well, I mean, if this is what you wish, we can do whatever we want. I have it on good authority. The gods of this world do not force us down any chosen path.
No, it's just you made the recommendation that we get all the shards before we go fight the last two guardians.
Yes,
But
and I
this
am
seems...
probably a pretty smart person to follow advice from.
This is going to be a pain in the neck. Alright, I guess we go back to the Prime. What a bitch.
The problem is your little wet friend.
Ugh. Guess we just have to fix that too. Ugh.
Yes, so now we must get serious about finding Etebati, no?
Wait. Does my shadow summoning just not work in the Prime, or can't I just pull him there with my power?
He would be as a shadow there. Ergo,
Not as useful.
destroyable as well. Here on the Shadowfell, he is effectively immortal.
The...
There on the real world, should your glowworm friend light up, he could be destroyed forever.
Okay. I hear that. I suppose I need to go find him a body. Ugh.
Ugh, it is not that simple, I am afraid. As you saw, merely finding him a body is useless, as he can only animate it like some sort of zombie. Instead, we must resurrect him. This is powerful magic that even I am not fully capable of. However,
Neither am I.
I do believe that the Blood Witch may have had access to spells that could help. Perhaps if we go back there, we can find something.
Oh, that is what Soggy was thinking.
Nah. Well, her castle should still be under my control, so I suppose.
It should be under my control, but yes.
Raise eyebrow, I suppose. Then to the Blood Witch's place.
So, you guys travel back to the Blood Swamp, and in the absence of the Blood Witch, it appears that there has been a plague of blood frogs. Nothing dangerous, just frogs that swim in the blood swamp and drink blood, and they have been everywhere. Apparently her magic like kept them from reproducing too much, and now they're just like a plague.
I see.
Soggy sort of like tries to pick up one and sort of looks at it and says,
You know.
This is this is good. Soggy likes frogs.
It spits blood in your face, but you're a shadow, so it doesn't do anything.
Oh, that is interesting, right?
Blood ribbit.
Soggy sort of puts it down and sort of like watches it hop away and says, Does Cress think Soggy would be good with frog pet?
I mean, a normal frog, maybe. Not a blood frog. That sounds like a really bad pet.
What would you feed it? Where would you keep it?
Well, the answer to the first one is obvious: blood.
Yeah, but you can. That's what I mean. It's like it's. How are you gonna feed this thing? You gonna go around killing people? Hey, come here! I need your blood. I had to feed my frog.
Yeah, yeah. It's really important. What? I have this frog.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And Soggy sort of looks to the to the group and says, "So, where shall we start?"
There's probably an archive. Let's head back in, and I'll just have a golem to tell a golem to take me to the archive, and it'll probably work out from there.
Ugh, yes. This'll be countless hours spent poring over her books.
I'm certain that things that are useful will pour from her books.
Soggy will also help find a book.
You can read?
Of course.
Little. Soggy can understand little reading. If Soggy finds book that says how to resurrect, then Soggy will know.
I see.
I mean, on fair technicality, that's not wrong. I wonder if she has such a volume. Alright, let's get looking.
And so, this is gonna take you guys a long, long time, but just roll an investigation roll anyway. So
Do
after
I not drop any of my exhaustion from sleeping?
uh it might be possible that I have not cleared that.
Because I dropped a 9. Can't know the order, but I dropped a 19 and I feel sad.
Yes. Uh so let me just take some of this stuff off of people who no longer have things like prone and exhaustion. All right. So after days of looking through the books and spells and everything, you come across one ritual, but this is blood magic. And so
Naturally.
yeah, so unlike other resurrection spells, this one requires a sacrifice.
Neat. What kind of sacrifice?
A sacrifice of a person. A life for a life.
Yeah, so it's pretty fucking useless.
I cannot help you with this, Saki.
I can.
How do you intend to do that?
By completing the spell, of course.
On whose sacrifice?
I will grab one of these peasants.
No, not even I can patron that. I
They
have
were-
no respect for the dead, but the living, though, they're still protected.
They were going to become my meal anyway.
Dude,
What, you would prefer I not tell you these things?
obviously.
Well, now
I
that
mean, I know you have to do it anyway, but I don't benefit from knowing.
this is true, I do not need to know when you gross meat sacks poop, but still, it is one of those things where if this peasant was going to become my produce anyway, they might as well provide more useful services.
Ugh. Okay. I mean, what about Nova, though?
I would sacrifice her, but she might be more useful as a living ally.
I want
No,
cuddles.
I mean, listen. Is Nova going to do anything long term if we go through with this? Because
Ah,
I guarantee you it's a million squillion times more evil than puppeteering a dead body around.
well, since Nova doesn't want to be in here reading all of these evil books to begin with, perhaps we just do it without her knowing, yes? If it makes you feel better, I'll grab one of the little ones.
The thing is that Soggy is going to know the price and he's gonna spill the beans.
Ugh.
I don't think this is sustainable long term.
Oh no, the spell is permanent.
No, I mean that's going to generate friction.
More friction than leaving Soggy behind?
There has to be another way.
But does there?
Yes, there are infinite possibilities.
This is true, but could we find it in time? Will we find it here on this plane?
Ugh.
I want cuddles. You have left me for so long. How dare thee?
Let's look at the ritual itself. Maybe there's a shortcut we could take.
What?
Shortcuts with magic are seldom advised.
I would know a thing or two about taking shortcuts with magic. That's how this works. They say, tapping on their own chest.
The cyborg.
Yes.
Is Soggy with the others?
No, you wouldn't be with Visanthus and Cress.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. I just had this image in my head of Cress is like, oh, trust me, I know about taking shortcuts with magic, and she's got like a fake hand and a fake leg,
Yeah.
and half of her face is made of metal.
Well, I mean, like, here's the main thing about it being a shortcut. If you got your arms and legs blown off, wouldn't you want real ones back? The mechanical prosthetics are a shortcut. And Cress is trying to explore the idea of cutting down the cost of the resurrection in a similar fashion.
Don't mind.
Like I said, I will grab one of the little ones.
Oh my god.
Yeah, awful.
Truly awful. Alright.
I'll grab
Ugh.
a big one?
Ugh.
Just tell me who you want to die and they will die.
Holy shit. Let me think, geriatric vampire. Ugh. If only I had more technical finesse this type of work.
I could pick off one of the old or sick ones?
Someone convicted for a violent crime. You got the deal.
Hmm.
Bitch. Yeah, just beat
I don't know that the laws here on Shadowfell would mesh with what you consider to be, the same. But I could
Legal.
definitely find someone in a dungeon prison.
Cress is going to have to go like, nah. If I were a more knowledgeable or valorous sort, I couldn't stand for it, but I don't see a way around it. Sometimes you just have to take a loss.
Don't worry, it will not be us taking the loss.
Girl boss, I got you all fucking beat.
That's a certain perspective.
If we gaslight and keep keeping a girl boss, I got you all beat.
So,
I grew up in a molested.
Visanthus does return later that day. He has someone with a hood over their head, trussed and bound, that he throws down in front of you.
Alright, let's get started.
It's the plan anyway.
Also, can you not converse so loudly? I'm trying to roleplay here.
Sorry, baby.
Thank you. Anyway.
You hear
I lost
grunts and
Four.
talking
Shut up!
coming from the hooded figure.
Alright, I'm just going to think to myself, right, okay. So, let's outline. What do we do here?
Oh, it's quite simple. We make these arcane marks, we burn this certain incense, we prepare the body with these special arcane regents, and then we stab it in the heart with this ceremonial dagger.
Uh-huh. And then, like, Soggy will just revive where he's standing with flesh and sinew spark life anew.
It says something about this flesh will be consumed. The poetic, flowery nature of arcane spell writing. It basically says that Soggy will be reborn from the flesh of the fallen.
These usually arcane formulae are not written so flowery. This is either old magic or ritual magic of the nth degree. Whatever. Alright, let's get this started. Shut up. Anyway, I'm gonna fucking pick this dude up and take them to the ritual site and be like, I'm glad I don't have to sleep at night. It's been a long time since I did something this fucked up.
It continues to try to, talk.
Yeah. Like, Santos, do you have to get the rune part down, or do I need to help?
Oh, no, it is okay. I am sure I am 10 times the wizard you are.
You probably are. I've never cast a spell in my life.
Well, then there
I
you
have
go.
more practical solutions.
Well, 0 times 0 is 0, so I guess you're both not wizards.
I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get the fucking ritual dagger, more or less. Wait for Santos to ramp up.
Yeah, and so he prepares all of the preparations.
Nah.
In D&D, that's how
Do I have to chant anything for this to work, or can I freestyle?
No, we must
Yeah, so is
we must join together and chant this Gregorian evil gothic chant.
Can I say a small prayer before we start?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, no, she's still
Does this do anything to the soul of the victim? I need to double check that. It might be disingenuous if I say something about for his salvation.
No, the soul gets to, go to the afterlife like any other soul, but the mortal flesh is consumed in the resurrection.
Right, right, okay. What was the short prayer that one guy said before he got knocked off? Was when I swing this blade, I hope that this poor sinner finds eternal peace. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, let's get started.
As you guys begin your chanting, it goes on for like an hour. As it reaches its peak and it senses that the blade is coming, the hooded figure starts to scream loudly through the gag. Ah! Ah!
Does Soggy hear it?
Yeah, where is Soggy during all this?
I'm sure these guys have like kind of gone off on their own, but
I imagine
I'm
with Nova.
I'm going to say, like, if Crest's got this much cold feet, then, like, the entrances are probably guarded by the blood golems under their control. Oh, and also, if he starts making too much bothersome racket, I'm going to wrap my offhand around his throat.
yeah.
Oh, kinky! Holy shit, babe.
But
I'm about to stab him. Stop making quips.
just that we're clear, you guys would still be studying. Soggy would still be looking through the books, and Nova would be doing whatever she did to protect her holy ass from all of the unholiness of this tower.
So she's like outside. She's like, I'm not going in there.
Right. Because
I'm gonna
Paylor
get my
can't.
dress dirty.
Yeah, because Paylor can't protect you here.
And Soggy sort of hanging out with you. Sort of like, I hope that this having will reward, that this having will do good.
I wonder what is going on in there. It has been days.
And so now you stab into the heart of the victim. Dark red blood pours out, an impossible amount. The blood covers the entire altar and runs down the channels of the symbols that were marked. Eventually, they light up, and the body is consumed in like a bloody red fire. As the fire dies down, Soggy's body, whole and intact, stands on the altar.
I go like, all right.
What happens to the Soggy that was like with me?
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Ghost where they kind of like fade away.
And Soggy's
So I'm like,
just like,
Soggy, no, come back.
and I imagine Soggy, it's sort of like he's being like siphoned into like some sort of portal as he's sort of siphoned into the new body.
Yep.
And do I wake up?
No, you're unconscious at first.
Yes. And Soggy just seemed just sort of groaning in unconsciousness.
Well, I'm going to go like going to hand the blade off and be like, put that back where I found it, and I'm gonna pick up Soggy and go to take him outside the ritual chamber.
Just casually set the knife down, and you're like, now that I'm done with this murder, I'm gonna put this somewhere.
It's just gonna be like, ugh, ugh. Man, there are some things you do for your work that just, ugh. You won't do a lot in the name of. You won't do a lot worse than in the name of the greater good, but still don't like it. Anyway, so yeah, after I've gotten Soggy outside the ritual chamber into a more tame area, I'm gonna wake his ass up.
All right. You are unable to wake him up. Roll a medicine check.
Nah. Cress is not very medical.
You are unable to medical him up.
Huh. Well, let's take him to Nova. I'm going to, put the kobold over my shoulder and start heading my way out of the castle.
You shoulder the kobold and head out of the castle. Nova, you see Cress carrying Soggy towards you.
Soggy? Soggy, is that you? How is this possible?
That right. I can't get it to
Of course,
wake
I'm
up.
like, what? I'm getting a hug.
Yeah, Cress will hand the unconscious kobold over and be like, well, that's definitely him, and his soul is definitely in the new body, but I can't get him to wake up.
Oh, he's still okay.
Yeah, he's still unconscious.
I think he is just being lazy.
I get dinner.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I got this one with Stephanie.
No.
Talk to her.
I am pretty sure he is
guess
just shirking on his duties.
Look over the body. Yes, like I said, take back my whole like, oh my god, moment from before, and I'm gonna look like, how did you find his body here?
What'd they say?
Nova, please repeat what you said. You were breaking up.
Hello.
Yep, you're back.
Hello?
Cool. Yeah, I guess I'll see the body. I'll like just kind of look confused, like, what? Soggy? What? He just disappeared. What? How do you have his body? Where did this come from?
A magic ritual was used to forge him a new compatible body. As a consequence of, soul anchoring, his spirit was dragged into it. He's
From in
unconscious.
there?
Huh?
Several.
Let me have a look at him.
No. Please try and wake him up.
I'll look over his body. Is there anything out of the ordinary?
He's a small, scaly humanoid with claws and an elongated mouth and muzzle like a lizard with sharp lizard teeth and
Well, I mean, I know he's a kobold.
oh, well then no, nothing else out of the ordinary.
Very funny. Very funny.
We have fun around here.
Let's see. How about then? All right, I'll check his breathing. Yeah, I'll do a medicine check on him.
Yeah, go for it.
Of course, I'll just need somebody to actually do that for me.
Yeah, that would be bad data.
I love
And remember, don't roll it with the DM dice.
boys.
And whatever you do,
Uh-huh.
don't roll a 1.
So
Fuck
medicine,
you,
yeah,
asshole.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they roll pretty fine. 25, 25.
The dice only goes up to 20. Don't lie to me.
Told me not.
Uh-huh.
It is a sin to lie to your DM. But not vice versa. So, for your DM to lie to you is the game. But Nova, you are able to tell immediately that although resurrected, Soggy has been through so much trauma that he's basically in a brain dead coma. You're going to need to restore him.
Rate of restoration.
Yep. So
Yeah, I'll cast that.
using your powers of Paylor, you cast greater restoration on your companion, willing him to awaken and come forth, you know, rise from your grave. And as you do so, Soggy, your eyes open for the first time for real in almost a year.
And Saki, sort of like realizing he's sort of has real eyes, sort of touches his face and feels fleshy skin or fleshy scales, and sort of touches Nova on the face and says, "You're right. Haven did get Saki's body back."
I just kind of stare at him like confusedly, but like with like like a excited smile, but still confused. Like what? Can't believe Asagi's back.
Yes, Soggy sort of like looks to him and says, looks to her and says, Soggy does not know what exactly happened, but Soggy is happy to have body back. Soggy is happy to have things to feel.
I'm gonna give Sagi a big fat hug.
And Soggy accepts the hug.
Yeah, celebration time. Don't tell Nova what happened. You there, Bad Data?
Yeah, I am here. Sorry, what did you say? I'll be honest, my guts are kind of distracting me. I think I gotta use the restroom again.
Oh, go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Nah,
why don't we all just call it a quick little 5-minute bio break, and we'll reconvene in 5 minutes.
Understood.
Need.
Minuet minutes. Try saying that 10
Like
times fast.
suddenly he's like a South American. Yeah, meet up in 15 minutes.
You
Ooms.
better be back in 5 minutes, or I cut you.
Hey, thank you.
I cut you so bad. You
Oh,
wish
you
I
wish
don't
I didn't
cut
cut
you
you
so
so
bad.
bad. oh, DM. So you know how
Yeah.
like there's the new pandemic, like the new, not the new variant for the pandemic.
Mhm.
You know where they titled it right?
Mhm.
Omicron. So every time I hear anybody talk about this, I keep hearing this Alien King in my head. Like, I'm the Omicron person I hate.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. All right. See you guys in 4 minutes.
Understood. I'll be eating some soft pretzels.
Maybe in the middle of making dinner. I'm gonna mute myself.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Guess who's back? Back again. Soggy's back.
What music? Hi.
Hi, hi.
Hello.
Ho, hi, ho, hi. It's off to work go I. This song's not like any song you know.
Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy hole.
So, now that like you guys are in a celebratory mood, Visanthus it comes in. Every party needs a pooper, and that's you.
But wait, didn't something get addressed to me that I missed?
Oh, I don't know. Did something? Were one of you trying to get Cress's attention?
No, I believe so.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, nobody loves you, Cress.
Ain't that a fucking fact?
Well,
What?
so Nova, basically how I'm gonna have it, unless it becomes like so obvious that it can't be ignored, Nova's just gonna be like just a little excited to see him again. I eventually there's gonna need to be an explanation for this,
Yeah, but
but
before
right
you get
now everything's fine.
yeah, but before you guys can get too happy and start celebrating, like as soon as everybody's like, "Oh my God, Soccer's back! This is great," and you're like going to hug him and all of that. Uh, Vasanthus comes into the room and it darkens and chills by 3 degrees, and he says, "Not to bust up the celebratory climate, but I must remind you, if we do not get going soon, it will take all that much longer before we can continue with our mission. And I may have all the time in the world, but you mortal meat sacks definitely do not."
Oh, yes, yes. If Soggy remembers, we are going to fireplace.
I've never met a being so long lived and yet with such impatience.
If you wait around for trouble to find you, it will happen on its terms and not yours.
Yes, well, and a man who sleeps with an itchy rear shall wake with a smelly finger. Just allow us to have this moment.
This moment may be all you have.
All the more reason to terrace it. Now, give them their moment. Besides,
I
it ultimately
imagine.
doesn't.
Oh, I'm sorry, go.
Besides, it doesn't actually change much about the ebb and flow of what they're doing. You
I
have
ima-
time.
I imagine that there's a charged moment where Visanthus and Crest just give each.
There very much might be.
Yeah. Dramatic music and just a close up of one of their sets of eyes and then the other sets of eyes as they stare each other down.
I hope Visanthus knows I'm going to be extra upset if he makes things difficult for me on this point.
I do not wish to make things difficult. I wish only to die.
Watch, at the end of the game, it's gonna be like, yes, I am finally free. I can be with my love. By the way, she murdered the guy. Bye, everyone.
Ah. Oh my fucking god, that would be the top jokes. Nah, Vasanthus just writes a fucking like a letter, like just addressed to Nova that's on his person when he's dead as shit. Just to spill the beans about what Crest did.
Yeah, so now you guys have to get back to the mortal realm.
Yeah.
How do you wish to go about doing that?
We should
Well,
go back to
I
that permanent planar portal we came into.
The PPP?
Yes, permanent planar portal that establish a position of planar coadjacency.
I agree that this is probably best, although our presence here has probably drawn some attention and they may have set guardians in place. We should be aware of this.
So, you are to summon Angel Friend, is that correct?
Oh yeah, good luck with that one.
No, I do not wish to summon angels. I wish only that we be prepared for whatever may be ahead as opposed to every other combat where you guys throw yourselves wildly against the walls until it or you crumble.
Been pretty fun though. But if you say so.
I may not be able to save you next time.
True. Well, he does have a point. I'm getting rather tiresome with the not being prepared for combat. And this
Yeah,
is for me.
can you propose an alternative?
Yes. For example.
Okay,
Oh, go
next
ahead.
time when we go raid the dungeon, we plan it out first. Anybody else?
No kidding, we plan it out first, but conceiving a plan requires having complex information regarding the place.
Not necessarily. For example, plans can be as simple as I am very tanky. Soggy is very blasty. I should go first, and so therefore, if anyone gets initiative ahead of me, they should hold their turn until after me so that I can move ahead and get into position, and then they can blast around. Also, you should fall
Soggy
back.
is not made of glass. Soggy is, he pokes himself just to check, made of scales and flesh.
You should fall back behind me uh, after shooting if you find yourselves in that position. Another example would be that if we can get Cress into a flanking position, I would get advantage on my attacks, but Nova here can cast that spiritual weapon, which will also give me advantage. And so, by having one of you give me advantage on my attacks, I can keep myself up against anything that is not undead.
Neat.
So there is, many core strategies we can have worked out prior to any combat we were to find ourselves in without having to have complex details of terrain and uh, capabilities of our enemies. Of course, if we have that information, our strategies can become even more in depth and effective.
Soggy is good at throwing fish.
Yes, but perhaps charging in against overwhelming foes is not in your best interest.
Uh, did everyone go silent?
Yep.
Yes.
A little bit.
Were you waiting for my response?
No. I was merely pointing out that your guys' tactics suck.
Right. I'm looking for valid opinions. You turn around and take 10 paces, NPC.
All right, that's enough from NPCs. Go over there.
All right. Well, so I'm sorry. Can someone enlighten me? Why do we have to go to the mortal plane?
Because that's where the Phoenix Blade is.
Okay. And do we know how? I mean, I could banish people, but it can only work for like a minute.
Yeah, but if they're not
We
on their plane, then they're banished back to their plane.
Yeah, it banishes people back to their original plane for like a minute.
No. Like so if you're on your plane, it banishes you to like a pocket dimension for a minute. If you're not on your plane, it banishes you back to your plane. Like
Yeah.
not for a minute. Like you're back to your plane. You got to come back by your own means.
Well, then if we did that, how would we get back to the shadow plane?
Well, I mean,
we don't do either of those things. We came in through a natural portal. We just go back. Then we come back through the same portal, in case that didn't also track.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just saying I can just banish everybody back to the regular. I don't know where Visantis might go.
And as I said, I am good with this, other than the fact that it's probably guarded.
Well, if it's guarded, we kill everything.
If it's not,
Always with the killing.
if it's not guarded, we still kill everything. I'm just saying.
I don't see how this is hard to follow. We show up, we identify problem, we decide, can we kill this to make it not problem anymore? And if the answer is yes, we kill it. If it's no, then we have to like talk to it and shit. But that's how it always goes.
Yes. I like the part where we kill it.
I know. It's simple and straightforward.
So, yeah, you guys head towards that then, or I mean, what? I don't want to speak for you guys. So, what do you want to do?
Let's head back to the natural portal, scout out what things are there, probably get thrown into a combat and cliffhangered.
I mean, we don't need to get into a fight with it. I can just go boom you back home.
Yes, but A, we don't have any guarantee that we'd show up anywhere relevant to here. B, we don't have any guarantee we'd show up in the same place relative to each other than that the game's gotta happen. And C, depending on wherever we are, we might not know of any good or convenient way to come back.
Okay.
Except
Okay,
the
those
one
are all good
natural
points.
portal we are already aware of. And if that's the only way we can get back, then we really aren't circumventing the problem, just delaying it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I guess we're off then.
yeah, you're not
Yeah.
wrong. Visantis, he's excited either way. Like, if we get into a combat, perhaps they will be living things with mortal blood that I can sustain myself on. And if not, I still get the pleasure of crushing my enemies,
Ah.
which I also enjoy. More as a hobby, though. So, off we go, yes?
Yeah.
Alright. Then I need a survival check to lead us back.
That's a you, Soggy.
Soggy shall lead. Well, that's embarrassing.
Would
Yeah.
you like a 4 or something?
No, he rolled a natural one.
Nice.
So,
Immediately lost.
yeah, you guys are literally lost in the shadow forest. There is undead trees. Uh, they grow, but they never have leaves. They look like twisted, haunted forest trees, and uh, all throughout the forest are like shadow creatures, like shadow squirrels that throw uh little shadow acorns at you and bark. They aren't very threatening in and of themselves, but they look like evil little squirrels. They're monstrous little beasts.
I don't remember a forest.
You're breaking up there, my friend.
Soggy is sorry for getting us lost.
Yes, you should be. This time it is your fault. Visanthus is just like a jerk. Don't listen to him.
Well, Soggy is listening to him, and he's sort of like really regretting the fact that he did mess this up.
Yeah, but I mean it's just the way the dice roll. It's not like you actually did something, you know. But in the game, Soggy led them and got them lost, so Visanthus is like, you know, definitely gonna let you hear it. Because he's a jerk.
And Soggy, being a sort of a creature without self confidence, he's sort of like feeling that regret.
Ooh, then Visanthus like really like lays in and starts needling you and like trying to make you feel like as depressed as possible.
Soggy just really just sort of slumps.
But now, you know, you guys aren't like off in some distance here. Like you can hear him like laying into Soggy.
I'm gonna throw a rock at him.
At Soggy? That's rather cruel. Kick him while
No,
he's down.
Visanthus.
Kick him while he's down, why don't you?
Yeah, Visanthus.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's funny though. So, Visanthus turns and looks at you like, what?
Stop needling our little dinosaur. You want this party directed so well, why don't you tell us where the fuck we're supposed to be?
If I knew, don't you think I would take you there myself?
Great, now shut your ass up. You'll figure it out.
Sorry about that. I was on I had a phone call I wasn't
No
expecting.
worries, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll go up to him and say, all right, so he got us. Yes, he got us lost. We could take our frustrations out on him, or we could focus on what is most important, and that is getting us out of here.
Why not both?
Because the energy spent on making sure he is reminded that it is his fault could be spent trying to get us out of here instead.
Oh, I assure you I have plenty of energy for both.
Now let's use it all for getting out of here.
Ugh, such a goody goody.
That isn't even about being good. That's just efficiency. You're a waste. You lack a discipline.
The most efficient thing would be for me to drain both of you and travel with Cress to the final destinations.
Well, I think that the most efficient way would be to fold you up and put you in my pocket.
Oh, did you watch
But
the
since that's not happening, why don't we get serious and leave?
Ugh.
I, I don't know why, but I like that almost Fey-like response in its absurdity.
Yeah, so you guys are pretty lost here, and that's not good. So the first thing that happens is you guys have to roll a constitution check to continue walking unless you want to camp in the shadow forest on the shadow realm, the Shadowfell, when night falls. When the night closes in.
Soggy does not look the part.
Ooh, you guys might not have a choice. So, Nova, you have to roll, and Cress, you have to roll.
All right. What are we rolling?
Constitution
Constitution.
checks.
All right, fine.
Not save, Chuck.
Ugh. You vile being.
Oh, I
Constitution.
accidentally made a check, not a save.
No, it's a check, not a
Oh.
save. You're good.
You accidentally did the right thing.
Yes. And none of you rolled above a 6, and your highest totals were 8s. So you guys are all too exhausted to continue on, and even Cress, your gears and moving parts are getting to the point where you have to retool them and get the sprockets lined back up. Now is the part of sprockets where we rest. And so you guys have no choice but to stop for at least a short rest. But you can go for a long rest right away. Which do you prefer?
Hmm. A long rest would be ideal. Not particularly necessary, I think. Just enough to stave off exhaustion. Because we're good to go, right? Like we didn't lose anything or use anything.
Well, you don't have your one spell slot for greater restoration that you cast, but otherwise, yeah, you're good to go.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just being 100% informational with you about where you're at. I'm not trying to say anything about missing the one spell slot. I mean, it's one spell slot.
That's fine. It's just one. It's 1/5 level spell slot. We'll live.
Right. But the difference between the short and the long rest is also how much time you've spent here as well. So if you just do the short rest, then you can get going faster as well. So, you're right about that being maybe a little bit better.
That's what I'm saying. We'll just do a short rest, unless anybody disagrees.
Seems fine with me.
Sounds fine with me if we do a short rest.
Remember when we had carriage? That was great, wasn't
Remember when you flipped the carriage?
it? Yeah.
Remember the time we're remembering about membering? Remember? I'm hearing a lot of support for short rest and no objections, so I'm going to ask you me that that is what you guys are willing to do.
Indeed.
Okay. So short rest. Nobody is down any hit points. Oh, Soggy, you're alive. I can give you your hit points back.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Soggy has his mortal hit points back, and you guys are rested. Short rested, but still rested. And uh, you continue on. But like I said, it's starting to get darker. You rolled your constitution because you've been walking for more than a full day. Not like a full, you know what I mean, a full day's worth of walking. It's like 12 hours or whatever. And so as you guys push yourselves on, though, it starts to get darker and darker, especially here in the dark forest. And as it gets darker and darker, you guys have to roll. Well, who has dark vision?
I do.
I also do.
Okay, so you guys have advantage, and Nova has to roll regular for dexterity checks to avoid tripping and falling in the dark forest.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have dark vision.
Oh, say what? Say what?
Yeah, I'm an ASMR.
Oh, okay.
And I rolled a nat 20.
So Nova would also have advantage. Yep.
High rolls all around.
So all of you manage to avoid getting snagged, which is a good thing because as you guys are traveling through the dark forest, you see some travelers have been eaten by the trees. When they fall amongst the roots, they get tangled up and pulled in, and their skeletons are stuck in the roots where the trees ate their bodies. Like for the nutrients and stuff.
Well, this is certainly an interesting way of showing the cycle of life in a dead place.
Oh, yes. You'll notice that most things here are more aggressive and carnivorous than where you come from. And so as you guys travel on, having rested, you manage to get to the point where you can make another survival check. Oh, Soggy gets you just so hopelessly lost. You're never gonna make it out of the Shadow Forest.
Oh, ha ha.
Yeah, you finally manage to find some familiar landmarks, and you are coming to the edge of the shadow forest when suddenly you hear it, at first distant, but then closer and closer as the baleful howls begin to sound in a circle around you. You know that running is not an option, as the wolves will outpace you no matter how fast you run. And they have you surrounded anyway, so whatever direction you run in, they'll just spring the trap there. So you can keep moving, but simply trying to outrun them is not an option as the shadow wolves close in. You guys have to uh, decide, do you stand where you are and make the wolves come to you, or do you keep moving to try to get out of the forest while knowing that, like, the wolves are closing in, circling in, and setting a trap?
Hmm. I guess I would say keep going. Proceed at a casual pace.
At a medium pace.
It's just, the whole fucking the edge things. Wolves are less likely to get involved with something that seems like it's going to stand off against them. Shadow wolves are probably feistier, but it might make them pause if we don't seem too bothered.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, what separates this and that? It's fear. Predators smell it and walk away when they don't.
That's right.
So that is Crest's honest suggestion, is like, we'll proceed forward, but like don't rush or anything. They'll actually come out as faster if we do that.
Ugh, I am not afraid of these things, but your companions will probably look like snacks to them.
Indeed.
Wolves
Soggy
often
is not really available for snacking. Soggy has already been a snack multiple times, and Soggy is not willing to be a snack again.
Ugh,
uh,
do not
uh,
remind me, it makes me drool.
Crest will say, wolves often make meals of things that can kill them in a moment's notice. They must live with this knowledge.
I think they will find me not to their liking.
What's that?
I think that they probably won't like the way that I taste. So, gonna go ahead and cast light.
Oh, get that fucking light out of here. Oh,
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, so I guess under cover of light we proceed forward honestly into the night.
Into the night.
fine. If you will not take the light off of me, then I will take me out of the light. I drop back however many feet I need to be out of your cursed light.
Oh well. If you can't hear the light, at least maybe you can hear the light. I got a pocket full of sunshine. Ta-na-na-na-na.
Oh wait,
Oh my fucking god.
I just remembered I have lived hundreds of years for a reason. I turn into a swarm of bats and fly above light and out of reach of wolves. I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT. I mean
All right.
SMART.
You come on, guys. Actually, DM, you know the drill. Is there a restaurant? Is there a rest stop between now and the point?
Uh
What building?
so the only thing that needs to happen now is you guys get to uh roll and intimidate as a group. So one of you can roll to give one of you advantage.
All right. So who has the best modifier? I'm sitting on +7, and I know
I
nobody's
have a
close.
+5.
All right.
I'm more of a persuasive person.
All right. I guess Sagi, roll to give me a boost. All right. Here we go.
Hmm?
Time to walk with
No, wait,
like
what?
we own the
What I say?
place.
All right.
17 for a 24.
And so as you guys, try to be intimidating, not fearful, not putting out those prey vibes, you walk, you know, I wouldn't say slowly, but you walk at a steady pace, not running, you know, just marching forward with purpose. And the shadow wolves, they hesitate, and the best that they can muster is right near the end. They do a fake charge where one of them comes running up on you and barking and snarling, but pulls back when he's like 30 feet away.
Ah, I see. I good.
It just tried to
Uh
get you guys to run, but like you're too intimidating, and so.
yeah. Kras is going to be like, damn fine stride. You guys can actually carry it when you need to.
That is what Soggy tries.
And so, having gotten out of the Shadow Woods with the Shadow Wolves no longer pursuing on the open plains due to not being able to get that stealth surprise ambush that they rely on, as Cress was pointing out, they do often take out, things much stronger than them, but they do so through a series of harassing strikes and being able to set ambushes rather than just head on fighting something. And so, not being able to employ their strategies against you guys, they turn to easier prey. But now you're out on the open plains, far from the foothills of the mountains where uh, the shadow portal is. And so you guys have a long, long way to go the long way around the shadow forest. And um, Vasanthus, flies up and comes back down and says, "Yes, indeed, I have confirmed. We are at the southern tip of the forest. The hills to the north are some, 50 miles away. this is like what 4 days travel or something like that. Like it is not short distance. Like 2 days. Either way, it's more than a day. So we can either cut back through forest and hope that we do not get lost, or we can go long way around.
Well, Soggy could figure out quick way.
Well, Soggy's like enthusiasm makes his like failure like just absolutely wonderful. Soggy leads the way, immediately horribly lost. Oh god, I'm so glad this little kobold's back.
So what do we do?
Can we plan our movements in any way more coherently before we head out?
Yes.
I meant that in the abstract. I didn't actually want to sit down and do that.
Yes.
Cool.
So
Like, take.
While I would prefer, obviously, the fastest route to get to back to the, the mortal plane. If going around the spooky death forest takes a longer trip, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
The thing about that is that we don't really have any guarantee it will actually be faster to go through because we might get lost.
yes, yes.
Oh yes, are we still lost? By the way,
No.
do we still not know where we are?
You know where you
No,
are.
we're not lost.
You know where you are.
Okay.
You're just far from where you need to be.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say we just go the round, honestly. I also don't want to have more wolf standoffs.
Now you're
Agreed.
scared of dogs?
I'm not afraid of dogs, but
Just not for risking our lives unnecessarily.
yes, and besides, they're wild animals. You can generally predict how they behave, but sometimes you get ones that are strange. And I think there is likely to be a strange wolf in that forest.
This is true. All right, long way around it is. So this is going to take you guys, a bit of in-game time. But it boils down to just making a very easy survival check to navigate to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Well, not that easy. I meant like a 10.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry, I don't.
You should let one of us
Okay,
roll to assist you before throwing your survival check.
I'll try.
Well,
Well, he rolled already. The primary roll has already gone through. So
I'm sorry, I just have a higher modifier, 7.
No, you don't be sorry. You're fine. Just
Yeah, I am saying
You're
that
good,
you
bro.
should let one of us roll to help you.
yeah. So now that this has been discussed in the game, your character has probably, said that after Soggy, you are leading, and as you are leading the party, the forest kind of like gets really light and so you lose sight of it as you follow a river that leads up around the forest, and the trees get so light in a section that you lose sight of the forest. Like, you thought you were keeping it, right in sight, and then all of a sudden you realize that you've followed the river too far north, and it's led you off the path. And so you guys are once again not lost, but off the path. And it's taken you a whole extra day now, uh, to get yourselves back on the path. But worse than that, you guys are now on the wrong side of a large Mississippi-esque river. This is the Shadowfell's equivalent of the big river by the borderland, the border kingdoms. So you guys are on the wrong side of a river that you need to cross.
Sarah Ferry.
Shadow fairies.
No, no, I don't mean a ferry. Like, I mean like a ferry, like a guy you give money to and he takes you across the river.
Yeah, so there are indeed villages of people here in the Shadowfell, but here on the river, this is a river with dross crocodiles and um, other like scary things, and so the people on the river are like some of the scariest people you've ever like come across. These are Shatterkai river pirate people.
Ah,
But I
Soggy
mean,
sort of shifts over to the folks and going to shift over to these folks and ask if any of them can ferry them across.
they look at you, yeah, like you just walked into the salty spittoon.
yeah, so going up to the river where there are like some people out on boats and everything, Soggy, roll for persuasion at disadvantage. Yeah, so they look at you and begin talking to each other in a language you don't understand.
Soggy feels like he did something wrong.
They start to row over to the side of the shore.
What?
They start to row over to the shore.
Ooh, I imagine this will cost something.
When they get to the shore, uh, two of them draw wicked looking sabers and come forward.
Soggy, time to go.
Yes, yes, Soggy is coming. Soggy is having. And Soggy trots along.
As you guys start to move along, they say halt.
Hello. Soggy is halting now.
do you guys all stop?
No, we're gonna keep walking.
And Soggy tries to stop Nova.
Wait, so they said halt. They said halt.
They are not our masters.
That is right. If anyone is, it is me.
But what if they get angry and do some nasty thing?
They already look angry. We should go.
Eh?
As they see you guys like slow down even a little bit, they start to run forward. Halt! You guys keep going?
What do you think we should do, yo? It's- Like Soggy's okay with staying.
I think we should stop and hear what they have to say, and if it's something we don't like, we'll like kick them in the nuts.
We could
All right,
always
sure, fine. I'll
we
stop.
could always roll insight and see if we can tell what they might want already.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Sorry, my eyes are about to roll out of my skull.
Well, Soggy is listening.
Go ahead. Anyone can roll insight.
I'll roll insight. Oh, sure, mine's pretty high.
Yeah, you got a really high wisdom. Yeah, it doesn't take much to tell that the guys with their swords out, yet telling you to stop, like the best they could want is like to arrest you if they're like official police, you know. And at worst, they want to like kill you, rob you, you know, whatever. But it's
Yep, definitely time to go.
yeah, it's somewhere in between like one of those, you know, like the very best case scenario is that they're here to like officially arrest you as, you know, some kind of, you know, or detain you at the very, you know, whereas like most likely scenarios are that they're here to like kill you, rob you, take you prisoner, etc.
Okay, yep. Look at Soggy and say, no, no, time to run. We must run now with the running and
Oh,
the moving and the
it is
quickness.
running time? Then run shall do.
All right. Vasanthus is like, "Oh, the first food we have seen in days and we have to run from it. How embarrassing."
It is always food with you.
I'm a hungry boy.
Curse, part of your curse, yes?
Yes.
For a nobleman, you sure are quite a glutton.
I can never get enough. It is the curse that no matter how much life I take, it will never be enough to sustain my hunger.
That's right, vampire. I forgot. They like consume everything in their path, and they want more.
Yes, you pretty much nailed it. So, anyway, uh, we run from these peasants, and it is possibly the top three most embarrassing, you know, things I have ever done in my long life, and that's saying a lot. So, I mean, I did get cursed with vampirism, so Anyway, as we run on, we must still find a way across this river. So what should we do? I can fly across.
Well, if it is a river, then there must be a spirit of some kind. Maybe we could talk to it instead of those people who are trying to cut us.
What strange superstitions you kobolds have.
Ah,
Well, it did work with Bunyip.
I mean, how wide is the river?
Like Mississippi River wide?
How wide is the Mississippi?
Pretty fucking
Like the
wide.
widest river in the world.
That's G. Willikers, boys. I sure do love these non-numeric statements of non-comparisiveness.
1
It'd
second.
be like, I think it's like a quarter mile across, like just wide as fuck.
Yeah,
Quarter-
okay, it says
Like I've stood at the Mississippi. It's pretty fucking wide.
Oh, I
It's
yeah,
like
I've been to
the
the
other side is
Mississippi,
like
yeah.
over the. As stupid as this is gonna sound, when you stand on one side, you're really gonna be like, "Wow, the other side really is like way over there."
Between 20 and 30 feet wide.
What? That's it?
No.
That can't be right.
No.
The width
shouldn't
starts at between 20 to 30 feet wide, which is the narrowest stretch of its entire length.
Okay.
That doesn't answer anything.
I was like, "What did you put in? What is the thinnest part of the Mississippi River?"
No,
Because that seems like
I said how wide is the Mississippi, and it's like 20 to 30 feet. It's a liar. It's a damn liar.
Fun fact, Nephis is as much of a fangirl as I am, so, you know.
The widest part of the Mississippi River occurs at Lake Winnebagochish, which is 11 miles across.
That's a lake, though.
Yeah, so what do you want
no.
from me? Between 20 feet and 11 miles.
That's fucking great. Alright, boys, I'm gonna do personal research to find an answer I find satisfying.
Go right ahead. I'm like pretty good at this, and like when I put it in, it's like yeah, it's 20 to 30 feet at the narrowest and 11 miles at the widest. So anywhere in between those two. But like yeah, a mile across, you know, quarter mile across at least for sure.
Alright. Uh...
Yep, it just says 11 miles. It ain't playing your game.
I want a kid. Goddamn Mickey.
But if you want just a general like answer, I can go here and see what it says this length is. Oh, wait, can I? Will it tell me the length? Oh, okay, yeah. So 1 mile, yeah, about 1 mile at it's wide but not lake wide points.
Okay. Hell. Alright, it kind of sounds like the only option is to fly across.
I have.
Yes, I can fly across quite easily.
Yeah, but can you do it while carrying Soggy?
So fun fact.
I could turn Soggy into a vampire like me.
Can you do it without
Soggy
doing
would
that?
not like that, and Soggy just sort of covers his neck.
I suppose I could turn into the big bat and do it.
Okay, great. I'll take Nova.
Ugh. All right, off we go.
It's not hard to find someone willing to do that. Maybe with all the
Uh,
chaos going on, it might be. but,
Nova, you need to like. Right, how does this work? Oh,
Oh,
right,
I know.
she has her
And
arm.
Soggy,
No, but-
before he gets onto Visanta's shoulders, tries and find a nearby creature because he knows that somehow Visanta will get thirsty.
Well, packing a fucking trail snack for the vampire.
Yeah.
That's very
Oh yeah.
inventive of Soggy. Anyway, I'm like, Nova, cling to me in whichever way is most comfortable for you.
Least comfortable.
Shush! I've been getting some fluff.
Yeah. Like, so here, grab me by my pinky toe and fly off.
Yeah. Or maybe she meant most awkward.
Well, there's only really two main options, and least awkward is on back or piggyback, and most awkward is like clinging to Cress's front, so they're face to face the whole time.
Make constant eye contact.
Fucking goddamn it!
So
But I guess I don't know. I'll go around to the front of her and like.
And do
Well,
I
yeah,
find a
big
snack
hug.
for Visantis?
I will not eat that filthy amphibian if you dressed it in the blood of Nova.
Yeah. Anyway, so wait, are you actually going from the front? Like I said,
Yeah.
would be the worst option.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
You said make this uncomfortable.
Oh my god, whatever. Anyway,
My hair is kinking. Is stuck between your machine parts.
I know it's very uncomfortable. Anyway, yep. Crest will fly with their arms and support Nova with their legs and be like, "Thank God I'm made of metal," and fly her ass over the fucking river.
So as the giant bat and the bat-winged crests fly their non-flying, or at least non-long-term flying companions over the river, that is where we draw to a close for this session of Heroes Wanted. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone,
Good gaming!
Good gaming.